For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using regular worsted weight yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn in the color light taupe, and the other yarn is called cranberry. I figured this would be visible on camera with the light that we have, and it would make a nice color contrast. It's sort of like, for those who are Harry Potter fans, they're sort of like Gryffindor colors. And I'm going to be using, for the purposes of this demonstration, mostly my 6.5mm crochet hook. This is a Boye crochet hook. And I added this ergonomic handle with clay that I bought at a craft store, and I just blended the colors myself and added it to the hook, and it does seem to make a difference. So sometimes it is needed to use an ergonomic crochet hook, so that way it doesn't hurt your hands so much as you're crocheting. So I'm going to go ahead and slide these two rolls out of the way. I'm going to start out with the light taupe yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and make a slip knot. What I do is I cross the yarn, I make an X just like that, and then I'm going to reach my forefinger and thumb through that loop that's on my finger here, and I'm going to grab the working yarn, which is down here. This over here is the tail, but it's in my right hand. So I'm just going to make that a little bigger, reach through, grab that working yarn, pull on the tail. There you go. By the way, that's how you make a magic circle. One more time. You just don't pull it tight. There you go. There's your magic circle right there. You would insert your hook up here, and there's your magic circle. I've noticed on some social media web pages that some folks are very confused by the magic circle, and it's easy. If you can make a slip knot, you are making a magic circle. You just don't pull it tight. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We cross the yarns, reach through, grab that working yarn, pull it tight, and we're going to insert this onto the hook. And we're going to make a chain, not too many, because we're going to be gathering a lot of loops on this hook. So let's go ahead and do a chain. Let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I think I can get 10 loops on this particular hook. There we go. Try to keep them just a touch on the loose side. And now in the second chain from the hook, you're going to turn it over, insert your hook through the back loop only, yarn over like that, and pull up a loop. And just stop there. There you go. Now, do it again in the next stitch. Insert your hook into the back loop only. This is why you want to keep it a little loose. Yarn over, pull up a loop, stop there. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Do this again and again. I'm going to do this all the way down the chain. This is called the forward pass. Anytime you're moving, well, as a right-handed crocheter, anytime you're moving from right to left and you're gathering loops on your hook, that is called the forward pass. When you work them off, it's called the return pass. We're about to do that in just a moment. So we're getting all of our loops on the hook. Last one. There we go. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's exactly what we want. Now, in order to do our return pass, you're going to want to yarn over, just like that, and pull that through the first loop on the hook. That's making a chain 1, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, go ahead and yarn over, and see these 2 hooks, these 2 loops right here? You're going to pull through those 2 loops right there. just like that, just the 2 loops only. You can see how that looks right there. By the way, you can see the vertical bar that you're going to work in. You're going to make that all the way down the line. We're going to be working into those vertical bars very shortly. So yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops on the hook. Okay, let's take a look at that. There's another vertical bar right there. That's what we want. That's exactly how it should look. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, there's another one. We did it again. See how the loop is formed there? Yarn over, do it again, pull through 2 loops. Continue doing our return pass. It's nice and easy. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time all the way down this row. There we go. That is our return pass. And you can see these lovely vertical bars of yarn all the way across this little piece here. Now what you want to do to make sure that you only pulled through 2, let's give this a count. Let's count those vertical bars. There's 1 over here on the left, followed by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what you want, because over here on the right, that's 9. Way over here on the left, that's 10, which matches the number of chains that you did in the beginning. That's exactly what you want. Now what we're going to do is called Tunisian simple stitch. It is the simplest Tunisian stitch. We're going to make a forward pass, and we're not going to go through this first vertical bar. We don't need to do that. That stitch is already made. What we need to do is take the hook and push it behind that vertical bar that's right there, the next one over. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and stop there. That's exactly what that should look like. And you can notice, by the way, that this is going to form like a vertical line from the part right up here and then this vertical bar down here. That way, when you're doing stitches such as the honeycomb stitch, which I will get to, you can read your stitches. You can just look and say, okay, I did a simple stitch there, or I did a purl stitch there. So now let's continue down the line. Here we go. Here's another vertical bar right through. You push behind that, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Here we go. Here's another vertical bar. We're going to do it again, just like that, right? Another vertical bar. We're going to do it again. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay. We're going to continue to do this all the way down the line. Okay. This is very, very simple. It turns out a fairly dense fabric with not a lot of holes in it. There we go. Now, when you get to the end, you may think that you want to go through just like this. Don't do that. Here on the end, let's turn the work this way. There are actually 2 loops of yarn there. I'm going to put my hook through it so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. That's what you want it to look like. See those 2 loops right there on the end? That's how you want to do that. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So this is what it should look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're good to go. Now let's do our return pass the same as we did before. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop over here on the left hand side. Then for the rest of the row, yarn over and pull through 2. Over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through, 2. You can push that back through if it does that. This little hook that I've had for a very long time, it is extremely slick and slippery. So I gotta control my hook a little better there. There we go. Just glide right back through the yarn. Yarn over and pull through 2. Happy little stitches. Now our piece will look exactly like this. And by the way, as you go, you'll notice that this curls. Just like that. That's perfectly natural. So don't get flipped out about that. Don't panic and say, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? It's fine. Even when you use a very, very thick crochet hook, such as this one, the 8mm, you're still going to get a little bit of curl in your fabric when you do this stitch. The reason for that is because all of your tension is on this side of the work. There are ways of fighting that curl. You can do different stitches. You can do a row of single crochet. There's a number of things that can be done to deal with that curl. We will get to that in a different video, but for now, just understand that this is normal. So it's nothing to panic about. It's fine. We're just going to practice the simple stitch for now. So let's go ahead and do another forward pass. We're just going to insert behind the vertical bars. We're going to yarn over and pull up loops. Just getting used to the rhythm of the stitch. Okay, just insert right there. I love Tunisian crochet. I really do. And here's the thing, there are a lot of things that sometimes people will knit, and you can do the same thing, the same piece with Tunisian crochet. There we go. We're at the end. We're going to insert behind both of those loops there on the end, yarn over and pull up a loop. So that's our forward pass. Now let's do our return pass. Chain 1 over here on the left, and let's work through, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, again. It's so repetitive, so simple, so easy. This is the stitch that is used to do entrelac blankets. Entrelac means interlock, and basically it's small panels that are interlocked together to form a large blanket. I have done a couple of entrelac blankets with this particular stitch, and the stitch itself to me is so relaxing and so repetitive. I have almost fallen asleep with my hook in my hands doing this particular stitch. Let's do another forward pass, just like this. There we go. We're just going to dance all the way down the end of the row. Happy little stitches. Happy little loops. I'm just getting caught on the ball itself. Here we go. One more. There we go. And now here we are on the end. We're going to go through that little X, as it were, on the end. Fortunately, yarn is stretchy. Just slide the hook in there. And then, there we go. And let's work our return pass. There we go. Chain 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and 2, all the way down the line. Now that kind of went a little bit wonky, so let me straighten that out just a little bit there. There we go. Easy fix. 2, 2, and 2. What I'm going to do at this point, since I have 2 loops on my hook, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to take my red yarn, okay? And I am going to change color. So let me draw out a little bit of the red yarn and get that going. What I'm going to do to change color, I'm just going to lay the red yarn right around the hook there, and I'm going to complete the last stitch with red. There we go. And let me go ahead and give that a gentle pull, and I'm going to let that fall to the back. And now I'm ready to continue in a different color. Yeah. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to go through the vertical bars, okay, and just yarn over and pull up loops. All the way down, exactly the same. And here we go, we're on the end. We go through those 2 loops right there on the end, and we're good. Now let's do our return pass, chain 1, and yarn over, pull through 2, all the way back down the line. Purl is, it's almost getting in the way here, but all I'm doing, in case it's hard to see, is I'm just yarning over and pulling through 2 loops, exactly as I did with the other color. I'm going to give this a little tug and pull that down a little bit. And let's do another pass, another forward pass. Sounds like a football term, doesn't it? Forward pass. I think it is a football term. Okay. Just right behind that vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. A little bit more red yarn. Gotta have a little bit of slack in the yarn while I'm doing this. There we go. Right through the vertical bar, like this, and through the last 2 right there on the end. Okay, now chain 1, and let's do our return pass just like this. Simple, simple, simple. Yarn over, pull through 2, all the way back. And there we have it. Now we have our little piece with our lovely, very neat, squared stitches on it. Now let's say this is as far as you wanted to go with this particular piece. Well, you have these open gappy spaces at the top, and that may not be part of your pattern. That may not be what you want. There's a way to close these off and make these look nice and neat. So what we're going to do, let me pull out a little more yarn before we get started on that. What we're going to do, go ahead and start a simple stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, but you're going to work a slip stitch. There you go. You just pull it right through the loop that's on your hook. And you do this all the way down the line. You just work slip stitches. Over there. There we go. This is also part of working entrelac. So, go ahead and insert the hook there. There we go. Just like that. Nice and neat. Got one more vertical bar, like that. And we're going to look for these 2 loops on the end. There we go, right through there, just like that. And work a slip stitch. Now let me draw up a loop and set the hook to the side. And you can see how that's got these lovely, neat stitches right there on the top. And how lovely and nice and clean the color change is. And how neat and squared off the stitches all look. And as you can see, this is a tight, dense fabric. The back has a knitted look to it. So this is clearly what they would call the wrong side of the work. And this is the right side of the work. Sometimes people will do things like cross stitch on a piece. They'll make like a nice little dishcloth or something with this and cross stitch like a flower or something on it, and it looks really pretty. So there we have our Tunisian simple stitch. For this portion of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to work the Tunisian knit stitch. It is slightly different from Tunisian simple stitch. But what we're going to do, we're going to start pretty much the same. Let's make a slip knot and put the yarn on the hook. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have our 10 chain stitches. What we're going to do, we're going to create our foundation row. We're going to turn over to the back of the chain, insert the hook in the back loop only, and draw up a loop. And we're going to do this all the way down the row. Go. Okay. To get this set up for Tunisian knit stitch. Go ahead and get that completed. Simply yarn over and pull up one loop in each stitch and hold it on the hook. Very, very, very typical for Tunisian crochet. So go ahead and do that. Now we're going to do our return pass. Chain 1, okay, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way down the yarn, like this, all the way down. Okay, only two. Okay, good. And we get to the end. There we go. So we have these lovely vertical bars that we're going to be working into. But what we're going to do here, Tunisian simple stitch will have you insert the hook just like that, just from right to left through that one vertical bar. This is going to be different. As you can probably see, there's the vertical bar over here, and on the back there's another half of the stitch. You want to insert your hook, yes, behind the vertical bar, but go all the way to the back of the work, just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop. And we're going to do it in the next vertical bar. We don't do this, we just push it to the back. Yarn over, bring up a loop. And we're going to do this all the way down the row. This is going to create a really dense, non-stretchy fabric, but it's a strong fabric. There we go. Just keep pulling up loops all the way to the back. Catch that yarn, pull it through. You can see that a little bit better. Let me see if I can show you this. I don't know if you can see that, the way the stitch is constructed. All the way to the back and pull up a loop. Now here on the end, as is typical for Tunisian, you just put your hook through these 2 loops on the end, yarn over, pull up your yarn. For the return pass, it's pretty typical. You just chain 1 here on the left hand side, and then yarn over and start pulling through 2 loops at a time. Go. All the way down. Just yarn over and pull through 2. Now let's do another forward pass of knit stitch. Yeah, just like that. All the way to the back. Pull it up. Okay, very good. Just like this. This stitch is going to curl, so don't worry about that. That's normal. Okay, here we go through these last 2 stitches on the end. There we go. Now we have all of our loops on our hook, and let's do our typical return pass. Chain 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down the row. Just like this. Just yarning over and pulling through 2. There we go. We're starting to see like a little mini stockinette stitch form, sort of. Let's do another forward pass of knit stitch. In patterns, it would be abbreviated as TKS. So let's go ahead and grab that yarn. Grab that yarn. Around that yarn. Okay. And pull up a loop. There we go. Now let's chain 1, pull through there like that, and now we're just going to do the usual yarn over and pull through 2. Or 2, not 3. Happy little stitches. Okay, and just as I did with the Tunisian simple stitch video, I'm going to do a quick color change over to red. I'm going to lay it right over my hook just like that and complete that stitch right there with the red yarn. This is but one way to do a color change. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. And now with the red yarn, we're going to do the same as we did before. On that just a little bit. Just insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. All the way down the row. And you'll feel the denseness in your hands as you do this stitch. It doesn't have a lot of stretch. Chain 1, work our way back across the work. And as you can see, look at that curl. I'm going to let go. That's normal. That is absolutely normal. Just yarning over and pulling through 2 all the way back down the row. I'm going to give this a little tug to make it a little bit more normal looking. See, now you can see the lovely little upside down V's that form the stitch. And let's do another practice row. Turn over, pull up a loop. Get that hook all the way through to the back of the work. Catch that yarn and pull it through. Once again, it's a really simple stitch. So easy to do. Here we are on the end. We go through both of those loops right there, just like that. Turn over, pull up a loop, and now we do a return pass. Chain 1, and yarn over, and pull through 2 all the way back down the line. Oh, and our last 2 on the hook. But yeah, here we go. Let me show you. That curls like crazy. Once again, it's because your tension is on one side of the work. With normal crochet, well, just ordinary non-Tunisian crochet, what you're doing is you're turning back and forth with each row. And therefore, the tension balances out on both sides of the work. With simple stitch and knit stitch, you don't get that. So that's why you would have to figure out another way to reduce your curl, either with purl stitches, which that can be for another video, or with single crochet or a larger hook, or with blocking. There's a number of ways to handle the curl. But for now, if you're just practicing your stitches, just accept that it does curl. It can get in the way a little bit, but that's okay. And that's what this stitch looks like. Now, if you want to finish it off, it's very similar to the Tunisian simple stitch. You just go ahead, put that hook through there, you pull up a loop, and then you make a slip stitch. You just kind of pull it right through. This is an extremely slippery hook. Sometimes I think hooks have personalities. Hey, here we go. We're slip stitching all the way down. We start to do a knit stitch, but we just bring that yarn right through there. Oh. There we go. And we cannot forget the end where the last two loops are. There we go, and pull it right through that loop there. See, look at the curl. It looks like a hot dog bun. You have a little hot dog bun there. And there we have it. Little bit of Tunisian knit stitch on a 6.5 millimeter hook. Normally this yarn you would use 5.5 millimeter, and look how tight those stitches are with this larger hook, where it just does that. But it does resemble knitted stockinette stitch. And it does not have a lot of give to it at all. It's not very stretchy, even with this particular bigger hook. If you use a really super big hook like an 8 or 9 millimeter, it might be a little bit more stretchy. Not much. The back of the work looks like this. Very bumpy. Very, very bumpy, but lots of loops to hide your tails when you are done with your work. So there we go. There's the basics for Tunisian simple stitch and Tunisian knit stitch. So I would go ahead and grab some scrap yarn and practice some stitching and enjoy the process. Happy stitching!